Welcome to the Uncommon Transformation television series.
Flooding has over the years been one of the major challenges facing major cities, particularly those situated quite close to rivers. Akwa Ibom State, for example, is a littoral state with most of its communities bounded by big rivers, rivulets and large expanses of water emptying into the Atlantic Ocean. Beyond this is the fact that the state lies on a plateau with huge ravines in areas like Itam in Itu local government area, Uyo the state capital, Oron and Ibionibom. The flat basin-like nature of land makes it difficult for rainwater to ease out after every rainfall, leading to massive flooding which for several years the residents have had to cope with. Properties worth several millions of naira were lost in the process. Farmlands were washed away, while the town campus of the University of Uyo, situated in the heart of the state capital, is on the verge of being submerged following huge ravines which yearly threaten it.
Uyo is a flat land, it's a tableland. And then the greatest problem in the south here is flood. Part of what we did, there's a place that we did 3 major flyovers completed. I'm not talking about starting. Now, that road that we dualized, that area was permanently flooded. That area was permanently flooded. And it was so bad. So what we did was it was not going to be easy to just dig gutters. So we went and brought a system they call pipe jacking system of drainage control.
In the past, living in some parts of Uyo during rainy season was always a nightmare. In fact, for first-time visitors to Uyo after a downpour, it was akin to driving into a river. The situation was so bad that many houses in the flood-prone areas were submerged. The residents, out of frustration, relocated to other areas, while those that could not afford remained trapped in their houses for days. The popular Itam market located in the area was fast losing its relevance as sellers were daily closing shop. Traders from neighboring states of Abia, Cross River, Enugu and Rivers looked for alternative markets to do business. Commissioner for Works, Mr. Don Etam, speaks.
The drainage infrastructure in Uyo has been very bad. Bad because, do not forget, the way the city has grown, the infrastructure did not grow that way. Uyo had earlier been conceptualized as a local government headquarters, and therefore the nature of drains built and the span of development was not as far-reaching as it is today.
Residents of flood-prone areas recount their sad experiences.
Flood situation, I'm as idioctity. I don't for before the creation of state. So gradually, I do get 92. Backward in one small quarter here. And you also now to go the development case state. I didn't the volume of the water I could not do. The flood of the baby and free was this area. So friend you need to stranded. But the dame don't get in am going my so mo mi riba aba.
The young man say for non go song. Even though in town the young idam. want to find where the Tom Mesa Gayan Tongampe. Whereas at now, Kespura Barami, say me take a come by the young. A type to get Mendiki David, Imikro song, O Karangani Sunne, Modo New Song more, come back, and you figure Kabika.
Right from 1992, this Uran Street had suffered from a lot of flood attacks. I had a poultry farm at number 14 Uran Street. It was also destroyed. My poultry of about 1,500 beds was gone in one day. We are very happy. We've observed the big gutters, the big tunnels created in the town to take on the menace of erosion. We appreciate him and we commend him and we say he should continue to help us because whatever he does, he has left his name in the sands of time.
For instance, there's a church somewhere there. There was a time the flood get up to the roof. The roof. I'm talking about the roof. Imagine if people were worshiping in it, how the situation would have been like. Maybe they would have think it's a small thing. Maybe they would carry their babies on their hand without knowing that the worst was coming. It was like the case of Noah in the Bible. But thank God they didn't lose their life. Just somewhere, some houses away from here. But thank God for our God-fearing governor that knows the heart of the people. He came in between and started planning for this. And I'm very, very sure that at the end of this drillage, it will favor everybody.
The rain that was flooding, it has destroyed many of our property. Even my document, my sister's document, my shoe, my television, all my electronic. The rain has destroyed.
The flood was very, very bad. Even this compound, some tenants are living in this compound because of the flood. They are back out.
An environmentalist, Dr. Valentine Atah, gives explanation as to why cities like Uyo are often flooded whenever it rains.
It takes me to man and environment, and when I say man here, the man contributes a lot to the destruction or the flooding in Uyo, more than the natural aspect of heavy rainfall. But then with the heavy rainfall, the topographical factors like the flat plain, which Uyo belongs at, increases the volume of flood that ends up to destroy from what would have been a manageable erosion or flood problem to such that has considered a nuisance and a menace.
The situation persisted and simply appeared to defy every solution, despite huge budgetary provisions made by successive administrations to curb the problem of erosion and flooding in the state. Not unmindful of the popular saying that the best definition of insanity is to continue to do the same thing the same way and expect a different result. Governor Godswill Obote-Okpabio decided to take the bull by the horn and confront the problem of flooding in the capital city once and for all. In order to optimize the construction of drains to check flooding, two different construction designs were analyzed, namely the open construction, which as the name implies, open excavation of the soil, which over the years have been tried without much of a success. Adopting this design would have required the construction of temporary road-along sheets pile wall and permanent service roads on both sides of the cascade, necessary in terms of maintenance accessibility. This would have had strong impact on the environment. The risk of erosion would have been very high, while construction progress would have been limited in the rainy season, and the compensation payable to owners of structures along the causeway would have been really high, as many structures would have to be pulled down in the course of construction. Further to the aforementioned was the fact that in the open drainage system, the state government would also have had to contend with the filth that would have been thrown into it by the people from time to time, while in effect it was discovered that runoff water would not have been able to flow well, and a trench of about 40 meters needed to be dug to effectively discharge the flood water. A better alternative was therefore considered, which is the pipe jacking system. Features which include closed construction with concrete pipes measuring 2.0 meters in diameter, construction method independence from road works, less environmental impact, less compensation in high-density areas, and has gravity flow pipe with steeling basin at the end.
For you to appreciate the system, you need to see the video of how that thing was done. It's just the same way that Eurostar was done. Now, from one central reservoir, pipes as gigantic as something you can ride a bike through. Even if you walk through, you see have a lot of space. Are going around the town, 3.7 kilometers from one house to the, crossing people's houses and then going 40 feet below houses. And then immediately after the rain, 2 minutes after the rain, you will see a single water. Then you go to the discharge end that takes it through into a stream. And then, if it's in the rain, luckily the vice president commissioned it in the rain. The force of water that is coming out, you can hear it 1 mile away when the water is coming. And at the end of the day, you put in a small turbine and you regulate the force. It can produce electricity for the immediate environment where there is need for that. So these are innovations that you will not see anywhere else.
Engineer Sven Madler explains the processes involved.
For this pipe checking method, you have to just construct as first manholes. In this case, we constructed 4 manholes. As you can see here, we drove piles, both piles, at 4 spots. After driving these bored piles, concrete piles, you excavate the manhole, and then you bring in this drilling machine, it's a kind of drilling machine, and then you start to drill into the soil, and then while you're drilling in the same time you push these concrete pipes into the soil. So this means you open up only 4 spots for the manholes, and then between these manholes you push your concrete pipes one after the other into the soil. And while you are pushing the concrete pipes, you excavate the soil inside the concrete pipe and bring it out through the manhole. So through this method, you don't have to do demolition, and you avoid this huge earthworks. Imagine 2.3 kilometers drain in a depth of up to 40 meters. We were talking about thousands of cubic of laterite, which we would have to cut away in the normal method. Like this, we just cut away the soil, which was before in the alignment of this pipe, which is not much. So this means you avoid demolition, you avoid massive earthworks, and of course you are much more faster with this. With this system, we were able to work in the dry season and in the rainy season. With the other system, we could only work in the dry season.
Akwa Ibom State Commissioner for Works, Mr. Don Etem, and the Special Assistant to the Governor on Projects Monitoring, Engineer Ekbu Robert, speak further on the project.
The pipe jacking drainage system was first mooted as the solution to the drainage problem to save the dualized road coming from Ekmitam all the way down to a back road. It's a system that is hydraulic driven and works according to the principle of the Euro tunnel. It's a system where as you stay on top, you don't know what is happening down below.
I know the familiar problem of Uyo. Uyo is located in a tableland, that is in a plateau, and it makes the usual construction of drainage very difficult. The difference between the entry points and the outfall here is about 40 meters, and even then, how can you dig a drainage? How can you construct a drainage of the 40 meters depth? Is absolutely impossible.
The beauty of the underground drainage or pipe jacking system is that the residents are not even aware that such massive construction is going on around them, since the process does not have any effect on their houses nor their farmlands. Under the pipe jacking method, water is channeled into well-lubricated huge pipelines buried under the ground, passing through the discharge drains. The suspension for lubrication reduces friction between pipes and the surrounding ground and also supports the gap between pipes and ground in order to avoid or minimize settlements. The flutes for the support are long-lasting and able to resist chemical and mechanical attacks. The Julius Berger area manager further explained that more flood control works are ongoing simultaneously in various parts of the capital city and its environs. For instance, the Brook Street Shore Protection Project had been completed and is a beauty to behold. The project was designed to check the huge ravine that was fast eating into the Brook Street axis of the metropolis, with farmlands at the defunct Nitel complex seriously at the risk of being submerged. The Oran Street flood control works is nearing completion. The excavation had been completed and the drains are being covered. According to the residents, the project is a totally welcome development as it has erased sad memories of several years where they lost properties worth millions of naira to the Meneza flooding. The huge investment on the flood control works being undertaken by the state government is to prevent affected areas from being submerged as well as protect the mega projects like the concentric flyovers and roads project from being washed away.
But one thing that is very clear from the airport till now is that the government of Akwa Ibom State is focused. One thing again that I will note is that the projects I have seen are not just projects, but of very high quality. The governor is not just playing politics with projects, but is so clearly that is committed to changing things. One of the projects that was quite interesting to me is the drainage system. I think this is the first time I have seen that kind of a drainage system. And I believe it must be one of the first in the whole continent of Africa. I can say that the growth of Akwa Ibom in this couple of years past is quite significant.
That Nigeria's president, represented by Vice President Nemadi Sambo, defied the torrential rains to commission this unique project underscores the workability of the pipe jacking drainage system.
Work and good governance that is showing and doing in Akwa Ibom State. Congratulations. What you are seeing there are the pipes, and in front there you have a small system that looks like a train. It moves through, goes in and excavates and brings out the soil in a trench pattern, and then the pipes will go in from one location. Pipes are arranged in a way like hydraulics, and it's not like the kind of Eurotunnel kind of thing. It goes through from one location. Somebody don't need to excavate.
With the type of development you are seeing here in Akwa Ibom State, if the others all over the country will follow suit and make development, there will be peace in this country.
As far as the other visitations we've done, it's very impressive to see that funds have been put to use for the benefit of the people of your state. And I know education being the most important thing in any modern society, you seem to have invested a lot in that direction, which is very laudable.
So many things have happened since the last time I was here, and I'm very, very delighted that the governor here has done excellently. I see the infrastructure, I see some of the facilities, I see the investments in education. I feel the people feeling the health sector also have been improved. You just see transformation, and you can feel it among the people, because the people are really happy because they see things being done.
It is important that we have a reference point. Akwa Ibom certainly stands as a role model, a source of inspiration to other states. So it would be nice if the Mr. President can advise other governors to visit Akwa Ibom on a 2-day retreat, during which the governor himself will have time to take them around and see what is happening here. I think it will serve as a great source of inspiration to them. That is not necessarily the amount of money that you get from the production account, but the vision, the mission, the determination to apply the resources judiciously. So it is important that other states see Akwa Ibom as a model state.
Performing and bringing out new things, new ideas, new development, new innovations, not only in Akwa Ibom State, but within the rank and file of PDP. I have come as the chairman of the party that produced him, and we are very proud of him, to do one thing that we usually do with him. They are very rare. If we count 1, 2, 3, maybe he will have number 2 and probably number 3. There are not many in PDP. When situations comes, we consult them.
Godswill Akpabio is not just a governor of Akwa Ibom State. I think he's the Messiah that you could deserve. Yes. That's the only way we can describe him and his work. Yes. It's only a Messiah that can do that kind of it. He's not a governor.
Akwa Ibom took his own responsibilities serious under a responsible and responsive governor, and the rest is history. We hope it will be in the lifetime of the rest of us that Nigeria can begin to be like Akwa Ibom.
It's just one of the many firsts that Governor Akpabio has scored since he assumed the leadership of Akwa Ibom State. This is one project where the governor made up his mind and buried billions of naira under the earth to save Uyo from being submerged or from extinction. So we are glad to see what is happening here. It's revolutionary, so to speak, because it has not happened anywhere. I have never seen it anywhere. Every Nigerian, every serious Nigerian, every person who has visited that project in one way or the other had to commend His Excellency, the Governor of Akwa Ibom State, for such initiative. It is one of the scientific wonders of the modern age, and we are very, very happy that it's happening in Akwa Ibom State.
The brain behind, the reasoning behind it, and the passion that His Excellency has. You won't have any other reason not to say this really on common transformation, because people used to avoid Uyo, during rainy season. People will not really come to you, So it's important that people realize, and we have pictures of all of the degradation or even the ponds that we used to have on our highways. All of those things have disappeared. That's why we call it on common transformation.
His commitment to making the state a better place has become a benchmark for administrative excellence. And this has been noticed by people across the globe. Like His Excellency would also say from time to time, can government work? He has answered that question eloquently, that government can work in Nigeria.
Efforts by the Akpabio administration to deflood Uyo and other parts of the state is enormous and cannot be captured in one fell swoop. That's definitely a story for another day. But suffice it to say that the erstwhile Brook Street, now Dominic Utuk Avenue, is receiving serious attention in this regard, while Eka Street, which had come under serious threat, had already been rescued. Mr. Muyid Ahmed Wadud is the project's manager.
And so now we're just waiting on the weather. As soon as the weather gets a bit better, we start gradually doing the main drains into the ravine. So there's a process, but it's a difficult process because you know very well that now the dry weather is basically non-existent, because you even get rain in November sometimes and December also. So all these things I think the thing is that we will definitely, by the grace of God, by December, we'll be through with this, the major part of this work.
Governor Akpabio has continually received kudos for mustering this political will to execute mega projects. This turnkey initiative underscores the governor's drive towards a holistic development of infrastructure in the state, as well as his vision of moving Uyo from its old rural status to an urban city with modern amenities.
Information of the monumental achievements of the Governor Akpabio-led administration. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter and YouTube to read the latest news, watch amazing videos and listen to in-depth analyses and interviews with the men and women working hand in hand with stakeholders to make Akwa Ibom State better. You can also log on to our website www.uncommontransformation.tv for more information. Uncommon Transformation Television Series, bringing to you the right and current information when you need it.